Today we have none other than the legendary ring announcer from Golden Boy and UFC, Joe Martinez. Joe, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
So I think the first question we have to ask is, what got you into ring announcing?
Uh, Actually, it was something that I never really thought I was going to get into. Oddly enough, I announced college basketball and professional baseball, amongst other college sports, and ran across a guy who was worked for the commission in California, and he says, "Joe, you should really try boxing." And next thing you know, he vouched for me, and I got a call from a promoter and started doing it, and kind of fell in love with the the role. Um, I'm not a very like look at me type of person, um, but it was something that was cool for me to do that I enjoyed, and I felt like I thrived at it. I was good at it.
But I feel like also with some people too, their voices are just kind of meant for it, you know? Like if me or this guy went on to the
Hey,
UFC,
come
right,
on,
and we started announcing, it's way different than if you were to just start
Speak
announcing,
for
right?
yourself. Hold on, eh?
Do you find like there's like a certain kind of like voice training you do or you've done to ring announce?
I never did, but I think when you throw the voice on, like in my case, like I don't talk the way I announce. Obviously, I mean, for me anyway. And I think some people just throw it on, like, ladies and gentlemen. It's a different. When a microphone's in my hand, it brings someone else out. It's not me, you know. But I don't know, man. It just depends. I think it really depends on the setting. But I've always, whenever I had a microphone in my hand, felt like I needed to be an announcer. You know, please welcome to the stage, Cindy. I didn't ever want to be that guy.
you know, but it's kind of weird you say it though. We see guys like Bruce Buffer when they're being interviewed, and you hear his voice. You would think that he just, like just walks around with that kind of voice all the time. But yeah, you're right. I guess you're.
Yeah, like he just wants to yell at you all day.
It's time. It's always
I'm
time.
here.
So I think the next question would be, yeah, I think the next question would be, what is your favorite night of ring announcing that you've done so far in your career?
Boxing or call
Boxing,
it,
anything.
yeah.
We're good with anything.
Man, there's been so many. Boxing, Canelo Triple G2. Um, that was awesome for me. It was pay per view. It was the like the going away pay per view for HBO.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they called me to do it, which was fantastic. So I was really just blown away and excited for that. I think it was my first major pay per view solo. I'd done a pay per view co op like LA and Vegas. I was in LA. Michael Buffer was in Vegas, so we did one of those. But this is my first solo, so it felt like, for me, it was like the pinnacle. I made something of myself. Um, as far as MMA, I mean, I think my favorite was Faber Assunção, and that was in Sacramento at Arco Arena.
Oh wow.
Can't give you the year on it, maybe 8 or 9, oh 08 or oh 09. Um, just the energy, man, was like, oh my gosh, it was incredible. Um, but yeah, every now and then I get to feel that energy, and there's nothing like it. It's incredible. If you've never been to a large event, a large stadium event, and the main event is about to roll, I mean, dude, there's nothing better. It's incredible.
But I'll tell you though, because I went to Vegas for the fight with Connor and Poirier 3. And it's so weird because when you're watching on TV, you're so used to the commentary and everything, right? But the second that the ring announcer goes up there, right, and screams it's time, or, like it's time for the main event, just a whole different feeling, you're right, you know? But I think going off of that question, do you see yourself making a switch to commentary? I think your voice could probably suit well with commentary too, you know?
Um, Honestly, I'm probably too lazy for something like that role. And it's not physically lazy. It's just it takes a lot of study and prep work, and I don't really study well. I know a lot of stuff, or a little bit about a lot of stuff. You know,
How about play then?
yeah, like well, Fitz and Anik. I mean, those guys are natural, just studs with it. And I love Fitz, man. I think he's got a freaking great voice. I love his voiceovers. The pre-fight voiceovers. Another one of my favorites is TJ DeSantis, and he's kind of an unknown still in the realm, but he does the play-by-play for Invicta, and I think he's got a really good, clean style, a very comfortable voice to listen to, that you enjoy hearing a story told by.
Have you thought about going into like pro wrestling for announcing, or?
I'd love to. Man, I missed an opportunity, and it was probably about 11 years ago. And I went to dump my grandpa's ashes in Northern California, and I'm off the grid for like 3 days. And then I get back up into civilization, and the guy who was my agent at the time, he had left a voicemail. Hey, got this gig. It's WWE in Bakersfield. They need a Spanish announcer. Can you do it? And I was like, and I call him back. I'm like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I can do it. He's like, oh, dude, it's too late. That was like 3 days ago, bro. Dang. So I missed the boat, man. But yeah, I'd love an opportunity to do any wrestling.
And I think the next question would have to be, what do you see your relationship with Dana White and Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya? Do you have like, are you guys close friends? How often do you guys talk? You know?
No, I mean, Dana, we have a, I guess, a working relationship, if you could call it that. Shake hands, say hello to each other when we see each other. I think he's a phenomenal, awesome businessman. I think he's a very good person. And I can recall, like, during the pandemic, I actually went over and approached him and just congratulated him, because nobody in the world was willing to take the chance that UFC did and secure an island, you know, for God's sake. I mean, to never cancel a show in 2020, and UFC did not, they only postponed them. It takes a great team, and obviously Dana has built that team, which is why UFC is who it is today. So I just commended him for that, and also thanked him, because if it wasn't for UFC, you know, I would have been hurting pretty bad, you know, during the pandemic, like everybody was, you know, unfortunately.
So how was it like being on Fight Island?
Yeah, the first time was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It was like a great vacation. You know, I only had to do 2 shows. We had full access to the Formula One racetrack. So guys could go out there and be passengers in one of those speed cars or drifting. And then a couple days a week, we could go out early in the morning and get on the bikes and ride around the track as many times as you want all day long, as long as you can handle the heat. Jet skis, golfing. I mean, everything was open to us that was closed off to the public. Obviously, we were into a green zone, a safe zone that nobody could come into. So our bubble was as secure as could possibly be. The food was incredible, the hospitality, the hotel. I mean, never complained about it. The second time, though, you know, we were a little bit more restricted. Yeah, a little more restricted on what we could do. And that was a little bit harder. It was 27 days I was gone, and you know, I had 3 shows at that during that one. So it was just like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, were you announcing when that incident happened where somebody was scaling the side of the building? Were you there? No. It was the Ottman fight, I believe.
He was scaling the hotel, and apparently he dropped off a bag of
potatoes
to one of the fighters.
I heard about this. I think I was.
So Ali Abdulaziz revealed it was potatoes, but
it was a suitcase apparently. Yeah. He came with a suitcase and he dropped it off, but apparently it was potatoes. But no one really knows. But you were there, I guess, right? So
I think I was. But
were the potatoes that good?
I was there. I'll tell you where I was there for was Joaquin Buckley's incredible freaking knockout.
Wow.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That
amazing.
I was like, oh my God, I got to be there for that. So yeah, there's my claim to fame for the island.
Hey, that's an incredible moment.
You know, being there for that KO, of course. But
yes.
You know, I saw one of your old interviews. You were talking about Deontay Wilder versus Fury too. That was a couple of years ago. Now we
did
go
I
to
call
the
it?
present. You didn't call it, but I think did you call that one?
No, I'm saying, like, did I call the fight?
I think you called Wilder for that one. So I think you were a little bit off on that one. But you know, going to the present today, what do you see, and how do you see Wilder 3 with Fury Wilder 3?
Based off of 2,
One and
I
two.
think
One
I
and
got
two.
based off of 1 and 2. I would say Fury again. Um, I think he's a more well-rounded. I think he's got more to fight for. Um, and I'm not going to knock Deontay, man. I think I announced Deontay's first couple fights as a pro. Actually, I think I announced a fight when he got dropped for the first time. And I could be wrong. I don't know. I think I was though. But yeah, I think Fury is. I think he's in his head. I think he owns him at this point mentally. And for a fighter, that's a dangerous place to be in when you're the opponent.
What did you think of his? What did you think of his excuses? Not excuses. His reasoning for being gassed out of that costume weighing down on him. Is there any legitimacy to that? Because I'm a bit of a fan, so sometimes I give him some leeway. I get like maybe that's a little bit heavy, and that little walk might have affected you, but I don't know by how much.
I think. I mean, these guys are professional athletes, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and they train the way they want to train. And if they're training in a way to prepare themselves to go 12 rounds, you know, you got to train for 36 rounds. You got to be prepared to go that long. So, I mean, I can't really say he messed up because he knew what he was doing. And to blame it on that, I mean, it's kind of like, dude, you put it on yourself. You know, I to go back, I had a guy in pro baseball who was it was legs day for him at the gym, and he just blew it out. Like he maxed out and had a game that night. Well, then he tries to steal second base and he got sniped, dude. He just buckled because his legs were shot. You know, so yeah, you could blame it on the weights.
Yeah, we should have known better too at the same time.
So you talk a lot about baseball even in the last podcast. So from what I was listening to, you actually started off in baseball, correct? Like you trained baseball, right?
Yeah. I wanted basketball. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I know he loves baseball, but the basketball. Are you a big NBA fan? Who's your team?
No, absolutely not.
No.
NBA. I love college basketball.
College basketball.
Well, what's your college?
Yeah. Ohio State.
Ohio State. Okay.
Go Bucks. Yes.
Yeah, we don't. I don't follow college too much. I wait for them to get into the pros before I show any interest. But
well, check it out now. They can get paid. You know, so
yeah, that's
they're
very
pretty
good.
much. You could call them semi-pro, I guess, at this this new coming of age.
Yeah, they're like also a lot of guys are skipping college and they're going straight to the G League as well because they can even make more money. Right, so. Like now, I'm glad that these young athletes don't have to do this facade for some of them. Like some people, school just isn't the best choice for them, right? Like they're not equipped or they just are not interested. So why are they forced to go into college and use up all this time and resources when they can go and pursue what they're best at, right? And go as an athlete.
Yeah, I believe in education. I miss the days of guys playing 4 years and sticking around. They're gone. You know, it's not coming back. I'm not even encouraging my kids to pursue higher education. I'm not saying I'm not encouraging it. I'm not saying I'm not going to pay for it, but I think everybody should learn a trade. You know, something that somebody's going to need. And if anything we learned from this pandemic, it's that. You know, your job can be gone tomorrow because of something that took over the world, but still people out there need haircuts. They need oil changes or mechanics. To learn a trade, have plumbing ability. A plumber makes, a good plumber can make about $200,000 a year.
Exactly. Yeah. Education with a purpose is something that I would always advocate, right? Always have a purpose of what your education is for. The days of going to school for a philosophy degree and then just winging it afterwards, it doesn't really work in today's day anymore. It's more of okay, learn something, right? If you want to do coding, you want to do plumbing, if you want to do go there for a purpose, and that's the main key. So like with a lot of these guys that are coming into these colleges, sometimes their purpose is literally just to serve the purpose of going to 1 year of college. So like, if that's their intent, like, is it really worth it? Like, either do the whole thing or don't do any of it. But like, how much are you gonna learn in a year? Like,
Well, yeah, it makes sense.
Right. Yeah. True. I mean, you'll learn how to drink some beer. I'll tell you that.
illegally, but
Yeah, because
they're like 18 years old. One thing that we love here is nicknames. So a lot of times we go through nicknames of go through fighters that don't have nicknames, and we just give them new ones. Sometimes there's guys that have. Sorry.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah, so we have these guys that actually have nicknames, and we change it up too. Like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. We mistakenly called him Stephen Boy, and it's stuck. It's stuck since then. Stephen Boy Thompson sounds pretty good to me.
Sounds not bad. I don't know.
If you were to change anybody's nickname or give something that you saw fit better, who would you change? Because there's some fighters out there that
let's give them some names though. How about we start off with Khabib? Why not?
His is the Eagle.
Yeah,
that kind of fits.
Does it though? I mean, it's not. Isn't a condor more dominating than an eagle? You know what a California condor? I think they can fly upwards of 16,000 feet. You know, they can get up there.
California condor.
Condors
He trains in
mess up
California.
Habib.
How about anybody that you're close to?
That's a good one.
How about anybody that you're close to, like that you have a relationship in the UFC with?
Chad Mendez. I mean, he always came out with money. Chad Money Mendez, and I never really liked that.
I think that really came around like with the Conor fight. I think that's where it like really came out, where people started calling him Chad Money Mendez.
He was Money. No, he was Money Mendez in WEC.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I believe so. I think I'm right. Floyd Mayweather. I mean, Floyd used to be Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather.
Pretty Boy, yeah.
And then he's Floyd Money Mayweather. So that changed too. Oh man, you're asking me. That's a tough question, man. If you, I don't know. It's hard. That's a hard one. Give me.
But going back to fighting though, we did hear that you're a fan of Vergil Ortiz. You want to talk more about Vergil Ortiz? Have you had a chance to actually meet him since then?
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, he's a great kid. He's a great kid. Actually, he just won just this last weekend.
Yeah, great fighter.
So still undefeated and just pounding dudes. And it's really neat to see. It's fun to see. There's another kid, Ryan Garcia, who's from the high desert where I actually grew up in California. And, he's a phenomenal fighter as well. But I think Vergil's got the it factor. Ryan's a great showman. Like he'll get the fight, right? He's gonna get Haney, or he's gonna get the big fight. But I think Vergil's the guy who can finish everybody. You know, he can knock everybody out that gets in the ring with him, and he's gonna continue to step up in class and get tested more. I know Golden Boy's gonna keep pushing him forward because he's right now their headliner. You know,
it's pretty cool because that whole team with Eddie Reynoso, Vergil Ortiz, Ryan Garcia, all those guys. It's actually funny because both want to fight Tank Davis. Who do you think would be the better fight for Tank Davis? Ryan Garcia or Vergil Ortiz?
I think Garcia would be a great fight because they both publicly hate each other. So who doesn't want to see that, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to see that? Vergil's not that guy. He doesn't talk trash. He just handles the work with the gloves.
Very quiet.
So I think it would be bad news for Davis if he fought Ortiz.
It'll be a great fight. Hopefully you announce that fight too.
If it's not in Texas, that would be great. If it's not in Texas, Golden Boy for some reason now doesn't take me to Texas. So.
Does Vergil have a nickname?
Does Vergil have a nickname? I have no idea. I don't think he's a nickname. Does Vergil have a nickname? No. I don't think he does. Not yet.
Vergil Bad News.
Vergil Bad News Ortiz? Wait, Vergil. Yeah, why not, huh?
The Eagle.
Vergil the Eagle Ortiz.
Hey, that works too.
But speaking more about fighters who are young and up and coming, what do you make of, and who is your favorite fighter in the UFC right now, and who is your favorite prospect in the UFC, if you were to choose?
It's just favorite fighter right now.
Yeah.
I know Chad Mendes is making his way back. I'm not sure if there's anything scheduled yet, but other than Chad Money.
I believe he's headed to BKB, right? Bare knuckle.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Joaquin Buckley. Man.
With the legendary KO, huh?
I love Cub Swanson. He's a friend of mine. I've always enjoyed his fights. I wish Faber was still fighting. I'd love to announce him one more time. He was always. I feel like we grew up together, in the sport back in WEC days, and all of us did. I mean, I don't think there are many cards I announced where we don't have at least one WEC vet. It's very rare, like Ronnie Yaya still fighting. And we're years and years later since those good old days.
Yeah, Uriah Faber always seems to come back out of retirement. So hey, you never know. He might fight one more time. And you get a chance to announce him.
Yeah, you never know, man. Or maybe his Hall of Fame induction. They'll let me do it.
Well, let's ask him. Why not?
We'll let him know. We'll let him know.
Well, let's induct him into your Hall of Fame, and then we'll go ahead and we'll have it.
Yeah,
It'll be
done.
done.
No problem. You're already first ballot. Okay. Well, I think before we let you go, because I think you have places to be, we just really want to know what really happened with Herb Dean that night.
That's terrible. I can't believe you guys are bringing that up. No, nothing happened with her. We both laughed at it like, golly, man. I mean, the world's full of trolls. The traction that little snippet got it blew up. It's absurd. It really is. I mean, give me a penny per like.
Per like? Per view. If you go on YouTube right now and search Herb Dean and Joe Martinez, it's viral. Go on Instagram, Herb Dean, Joe. Everywhere you go, it's viral, right? So,
what's it up to now? It was at 5.
On YouTube, it's at least a few hundred thousand at least.
It was at 5.1 million.
Really, 5.1 million.
You were looking probably at a different,
probably another video,
re-upload of it.
Probably re-upload then, yeah. But even right now,
like, Herb, why you gotta blow me up on TV, dude? And he's like, man, I had to look out for the fighter, bro. Like, I didn't mean that. Herb and I we're so cool together. Like, we'll be in the octagon and a beat will come on and we'll just start freestyling, and he'll kick it off and then I'll get up in it. He's like, all right, So we have a very good relationship outside of the ring, even, or the octagon. So.
Were they rushing you in your ear, like the producers telling you to get a decision?
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, we need to know what it is. We need to know what it is." And then the commission. It was a big mess. I mean, even the commission doesn't agree with what I said. The second time it happened, like, I'm just trying to win here. So I actually was able to talk to the executive director, Bob Bennett of Nevada, and Mark Ratner, who oversees the officials with UFC, who used to be the executive director in Nevada. And I said, look, just for the sake of my sanity and my job, can we agree? I'm just going to call fights that are a no decision, a no contest, moving forward for the rest of eternity. And they're like, yes, not a problem. So it helped. Because I was like, I know it's going to happen again. And sure enough, it happened again. And I'm like, UFC told me go with no contest. That's what I'm saying. And I get out of the octagon and the commission's like, hey, it's a no decision. I'm like, sorry, talk to Rat.
Exactly.
Well then, Joe, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. We know that you're probably a little hard on time right now because you have places to be, but we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh man, it was a pleasure, man. And anytime, if
thank you
very
much.
Need anything else, let me know. You got my number. So maybe we'll head up to Canada and get together.
Yeah, we have to, of course, no problem.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Sounds
brother.
good. Okay,
all
thank
right,
you
brother.
so much, Joe. Take care.
Keep it up, guys. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man. Thanks again. Appreciate you.